Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Colenso. Welcome to the show. Happy Saturday, guys. Welcome to the weekend. It's been a long week. It's been an interesting week. I'm feeling a little New York today. My attitude's a little subdued. Of course, we got some New York news, so we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But first things first, guys, make sure you're jumping onto Boom Broadcasting, the YouTube channel. Please, let's get some subscribers. We're getting close to that strive for 5. That strive for 500. We appreciate all the love and support, but join us, man. Come on. Come over to Boom Broadcasting. You're going to love it. Three from Deep is there. We got tons of other content providers that have some great shows. So don't be afraid to check us out. So I appreciate you. And let's jump right into the show. Guys, as a New York Knicks fan, I am fairly heartbroken right now from Thursday night's game. I'm still trying to emotionally recover from that loss. Knicks starting a 5-game road trip, West Coast style. Started off Thursday night with that Los Angeles Lakers team that has been super hot, won 7 in a row. Knicks come into town playing against LeBron and Luka. Knicks were winning that game. Then Lakers came back, got it to overtime, and then in overtime, Jalen Brunson taking a drive to the hoop, comes down awkwardly and severely twists his ankle. It looked pretty gnarly, coming down on Austin Reeves' foot. It wasn't great, but true warrior fashion, Jalen Brunson gets to his feet, hobbles to the free throw line, and makes 2 free throws. But unfortunately, the Knicks did lose that game, 113-109. Jalen going down and then having to be helped off the court definitely took the wind out of New York sails. This is going to hurt. Preliminary reports that I'm seeing is that this is just a sprain. They did not see any broken bones. This doesn't look like he's going to be out for a crazy amount of time or miss the year, but he's probably going to be out 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, which hurts, but I'm fine with. At least we'll get him back. I do not want the New York Knicks to rush him back because I'd love to see him for the playoffs. But there are some concerning things that came out of that game, not just Brunson getting hurt. That hurts. But first things first, the New York Knicks against the Cavs, the Lakers, OKC, and the Boston Celtics are 0-9. That's our top competition, guys, and we are 0-9 against those 4 teams. That's not a good look. That's with Jalen Brunson, who, to me, has been the MVP of the New York Knicks this year. I am more concerned about that. You got to be able to beat these big 4. You got to be able to beat these teams. And to lose Jalen Brunson, start this West Coast road trip with a loss, and losing him, it's not a good feeling as a Knicks fan. This has been such an exciting year. This has been such a great year for the New York Knicks. But when you see those kind of things and you see those kind of numbers, you wonder, is this going to be a one and done in the playoffs? Are we going to get knocked out by some early team because we just don't have whatever we're missing to get over that hump? But Jalen Brunson out 2 weeks. What's going to happen now? What is going to get these Knicks to continue to stay in third place in the East? I don't really see them, and I didn't see them moving up to second or first place because we can't beat the Celtics or we can't beat the Cavaliers. So I kind of was like, all right, we're going to stay in third. So we need to kind of stay in that spot. We're 3.5 games up above the Bucks. So I don't want to see them sliding back anymore. So who is going to be the Knick that steps up? For me, this is exactly why we made the trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns averaging 24.2 points a game, 13.4 rebounds, 3.1 assists. He only had 12 points Thursday night. And that's a lot of the reason why I think we can't get over these humps of these big teams is because we have Jalen Brunson, drops 39 in a loss, hobbled, still makes 2 free throws. Heart and soul of the New York Knicks right now. Karl Anthony Towns, this is your time to step up. This is why we traded for you. You are a superstar player. You're an MVP caliber player. Now we just lost the heartbeat of this team. It is time for you to become the de facto leader of the New York Knicks. We're going to need you for the next 2 to 3 weeks to sustain what we're doing, to sustain and still win games. We need Karl Anthony Towns, plain and simple. Malik Bridges has to step up. Miles McBride needs to step up. You got Landry Shamet, Cameron Payne. We have some other players that can definitely step up and fill that void. But the most important player that needs to step up for the New York Knicks right now is Karl Anthony Towns. We need that 30, 40 point a game Karl Anthony Towns. We need an aggressive Karl Anthony Towns. We need an aggressive defense to keep games close. We need an aggressive defense at the end of games. We could have won that Lakers game. We were up by 12. Should have won that Lakers game in regular time. We would have never had this issue with Jalen Brunson. So Karl Anthony Towns, you're on notice. Go Knicks. Let's go. We need you to step it up. Precious Achiuwa is still hurt, still messed with that hammy. So, these are some important pieces to be down. I'd rather them be down now than in the playoffs. So hopefully these guys can get healthy. Hopefully Jalen Brunson in the next 3 weeks can get healthy. I'm hoping to hear some more news. Again, preliminary news is he didn't break anything, no broken bones, no fractures. That's good news. Hopefully that stays that way. Knicks fans, be calm. I think we can still maintain the ship and keep it right going into the playoffs. So, also coming out of that game, we're going to talk about the Lakers. This trade for Luka Doncic is still reverberating through that Lakers team. That was their 8th straight win. LeBron 31, 12, and 8, just still doing LeBron things. Luka 32, 12, and 4. The reason why you don't trade this kind of player away, he's not even 100% yet, really, and he's dropping 32, 12, and 4 assists. This team is going to be dangerous because of those two guys. Can this sustain? And that's the biggest question that everybody's asking. This hot streak that they're on, they're 9-2 after the trade. Can the Los Angeles Lakers and a 40-year-old LeBron continue this streak, go into the playoffs and make some noise? Second in the West right now. They've made their way up. I think LeBron definitely made his way into the MVP conversation. He is playing some of his best basketball. He is playing some of his most efficient basketball of his career at 40 years old. Excuse me. That is unbelievable. And it is very impressive. But can he continue that when he gets into May and June? The NBA playoffs and get into the final, can they make the finals? Can they make some noise in the playoffs? Me personally, I think they can. This kind of year, you have some great young teams. You have Oklahoma City Thunder. You got the Houston Rockets. But they haven't won anything. Oklahoma City was number 1 in the West last year. Didn't do squadouche in the playoffs. You have the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James, who is playing in his 127th season. Kidding. He is well adept to how to win in the playoffs, how to motivate his team, and how to beat other teams. You have Luka Doncic, who is coming off of making the finals last year, losing to the Boston Celtics, but still, he dragged the Dallas Mavericks into the NBA Finals last year. Now he has some pretty decent role players in Reeves and Hachimura, Dalton Connect. So the Lakers, they don't have a lot of pieces. They're not very deep, but I think they have enough with these two guys to take out some of these top young teams. Now, Golden State, the Denver Nuggets, you've got some crafty veteran teams there that I think can really make some noise in these NBA playoffs. The Joker, averaging a triple-double. His MVP season continues. I think he's still second behind SGA, but he's still playing amazing basketball. The Nuggets are still up there. They've won a chip before. He's won a chip before. He knows how to do it. He's got the muscle memory to do it. Can SGA and Oklahoma City get over that hump and get past these crafty veteran teams? It's going to be very, very tough. The Los Angeles Lakers are not to be trifled with. LeBron and Luka, L&L, Luka Laker. LeBron knows he's getting close to being done for his NBA career, so he's going to give you everything he's got to get that last chip. And he knows now, with Luka Doncic on that team, he knows he's got another guy he can ride or die with that's going to give him everything he's got to get him close to getting that chip. So, guys, be wary. LeBron, Luka, they are coming in the West, and they are going to be a tough out. This is the year of the crafty veterans going up against these upstart young teams. And I have a feeling a lot of these crafty veteran teams are going to start doing some big things. So watch it. I want to jump into something too. I really don't like kind of this kind of news, but yeah, I think it's not saying I think it's funny, but it's just something that sparked something inside of me during halftime of that Lakers game, Lakers Knicks game. Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James had a little meeting on the court. Nobody really knows the actual words. I know Stephen A. Smith has had a little mention and talked about the interaction. He really didn't say the words that happened, but something to the effect that LeBron was tired of the way Stephen A. Smith was talking about his son. Stephen A. Smith retorts and says, I really didn't interact with LeBron during that meeting, but if I did, I would have told him it really had nothing to do with his son. So now this is becoming a hot media take. This has kind of gone viral. Stephen A. Smith, and a lot of this is going viral because Stephen A. Smith is on the cusp of signing a $100 million deal, $20 million a year with ESPN. Stephen A. Smith is the face of ESPN. He drives me a little nuts. Some of the things he says are, to me, more shock jock value. He definitely knows how to press buttons. He definitely knows how to play the media game. It's impressive. You know what, ESPN? You could get me for a fraction of that. You give me $100,000 a year, I'll do it. You don't have to give me $20 million a year. I'd do it for less. But I think that's what makes this a lot bigger, is because Stephen A. Smith has become the face of ESPN and kind of the face of kind of a lot of what we do, in podcasting and in talking to the public. We're here to spark things. We're here to say craziness and get people excited and get people worked up. And then sometimes we say some things that are not so nice about players. And the question is on this is Stephen A. Smith wrong for talking about Bronny James? Is LeBron James, or was LeBron James wrong for confronting Stephen A. Smith at that moment, a public moment? LeBron James is usually pretty calculated in his moves and what he does. So for him to do that was a little weird and a little out of his nature. So I think the dad in him came out, look, I am a father too, and I will do anything and everything to defend my son. So I get it. But on this instance, I have to side with Stephen A. Smith. Look, as a professional athlete, what comes along with the paycheck is everything else: the stress, the expectations, the ridicule. If you don't perform, you're going to get thrown under the bus. That's just plain and simple. That's been the name of the game since day one in sports. If you want to be a professional athlete, you better be able to handle the noise. And I'm surprised that LeBron James, instead of doing this off the court, doing it behind closed doors, not keeping it out of social media. If you got a problem with somebody talking about your boy, you go to that guy face to face as a man and go, look, I don't want you talking about my son like that. He's new in the league, da da da. At least, keep it out of the media. But you chose to take it public. So therefore, someone like Stephen A. Smith, who is a public persona, is of course going to retort and take it public and change the narrative. I don't fault Stephen A. Smith. Look, Bronny James is an NBA player. This is the life he signed up for. You're going to have to take the criticism. Suck it up, my man. That's it. Whether you do good or bad, LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players of the past 25 years. No argument in that. But he still gets criticism. He still gets talked about. He still gets trashed. So you should be used to it. You should be like, okay, that just guys can say whatever you want. I'm still who I am. I still go home to a nice house and a pretty big bank account. You want to defend your son and get up in his face? Don't do it on the court, man, because that just made you look bad. Granted, defending your son, I get it. I would do the same thing. But as a public persona, as the king, especially towards somebody who is going to take this and spin this and sell it and make himself even more popular, you should have known better, LeBron. I mean, I know the heat of the moment. You probably saw him, and then you couldn't help it but go over there and say something. But he's not going to be the only guy talking trash about your kid, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. Bronny James has to deal with this the rest of his career, and he's not going to have you standing up for him all day, every day. You're not going to be there every time he goes to a different city when you're finally out of the league and he's still playing and he's in a different city getting roasted or talked about. Unfortunately, you're not going to be there. He's got to learn to grow that skin and be an NBA player and ignore the noise. I know it's hard, and a lot of these guys can't handle it. There's a lot of players that have kind of snapped when the crowds go after them or when guys who talk through a mic go after them. I get it. You guys are human. I completely understand. We all have feelings. We all get hurt. We don't want our work ethic questioned, especially in public. But that's what comes with the paycheck. That's what comes with, when you signed on that dotted line and they showed you your contract, they need to have the little disclaimer at the bottom. You are also going to get this. This is what you also sign up for. You're going to be hounded in public. You're going to have people taking pictures of you. You're going to have people on the internet talking trash about you. You're going to have people on TV talking trash about you. So you got to know. You got to kind of develop that, confidence in yourself and just not care what anybody says. But I understand LeBron. I understand he wanted to defend his son. But all you did was fuel Stephen A's fire. But I do have to stand up for Stephen A. Smith because that's his job. Whether good, bad, indifferent, whether you like what he says, whether you don't like what he says or his style, etc., that's his job. He was doing his job. He's there to critique and create some emotion, and he did, and he got it out of you. And I'm glad that LeBron at least walked off the court as quick as he did. I think he kind of snapped back to reality, because I think if he would have hung a little bit longer and it would have became a little bit of a talking match or a shouting match, I think it could have ended a little bit uglier, because I understand as a father. So LeBron, I get it. Just you got to make a better decision, and you got to let your son defend himself with guys like this, because if not, they're going to walk all over him the rest of his career. So madness in the NBA, guys. I love it. It was an interesting game that Thursday night. So much coming out of it. We can talk about this all night, but I'm going to take a timeout because, again, I'm just, as a Knicks fan, I'm still a little just shell-shocked with Mr. Brunson. So in this timeout, right now, I live in northern VA, and I'm very, very close to the Washington Capitals arena. So Alexander Ovechkin, the grade 8, is 9 goals away from tying, 10 goals away from surpassing Wayne Gretzky, the great one. This is big around here. Everybody's watching it. I don't know if he'll be able to do it this year. 10 more goals this year. But I kind of wanted to go over my top 5 greatest hockey players of all time. Does Alexander Ovechkin fit in there? Well, I'm going to give you guys some quick numbers here, because I was looking this up here. To me, and it's hard to compare him to Wayne Gretzky. So Alexander Ovechkin has played 1,472 hockey games. Currently, he has 885 goals, 9 away from Gretzky, 10 from beating. He has 714 assists. So that's 1,599 points, plus or minus differential of 61. That's impressive. That's Hall of Fame. That is the grade 8. Wayne Gretzky, 1,487 games. So Alexander, I think, is going to play more games than him, which is fine, because the game's a little different now. 894 goals, 1,963 assists. He has more than double the assist than Alexander Ovechkin, which gives him 2,857 points, a plus-minus differential of 520. So regardless, if Alexander Ovechkin, when he does surpass the great one, I still don't think he holds a candle to him. The game is different. The goal is wider. I don't know if anybody remembers, and I'm trying to remember, and I forgot when they did it. I think it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm trying to remember to kind of get goal scoring back up. They widened the goal. So I'm going to give you guys my top 5 hockey players of all time, because that's what I was just feeling here. Number 5, Patrick Waugh. I had to throw a goalie in there. He's considered one of the greatest goalies of all time. Won 4 Stanley Cups, 2 with the Canadiens, 2 with the Colorado Avalanche. Probably one of the surliest guys you've ever met, but one of the greatest goalies of all time. Patrick Waugh, number 5. Number 4, Mr. Penguin, Mario Lemieux. 4 cups with the Penguins. Mr. Pennsylvania, you can call him Mr. Penguin, Mario Lemieux, Super Mario. To me, he was number 4. Number 3, Gordie Howe. Now, if you guys don't know this, Gordie Howe played hockey for 32 seasons. That is insane. 26 in the NHL and 6 in the WHA, the World Hockey Association. So 32 seasons Gordie Howe played hockey. Insane. 3. Number 2, Bobby Orr. 2 Stanley Cups. Has that famous photo of him scoring the goal, flying through the air. 1970 Stanley Cup winning goal where he's flying through the air. Mr. Boston Bruins. He's my second. And number 1 is Wayne Gretzky. Even if Alexander Ovechkin passes him, 4 Stanley Cups. Every record, I can sit here for the next hour and read off all the records that Wayne Gretzky has. Alexander Ovechkin's going to beat one of them. Wayne Gretzky has a lot more than that for him to catch up. So, again, number 5, Patrick Waugh. Number 4, Mario Lemieux. Number 3, Gordie Howe. Number 2, Bobby Orr. And number 1, Wayne Gretzky. Those are my top 5 hockey players of all time. I was just feeling that vibe. So I appreciate you guys listening to that with my timeout. Let me know who you got. Drop me a comment. Am I wrong? Should Alexander Ovechkin, especially if he beats this record, be considered in the top 5 all time? I'm curious. Let me know. Hockey fans out there, give me a shout out. So, and then real quick, guys, we're going to jump into the layup line. I had a little layup here. The Golden State Warriors, after a win in the Bronx, are 10-2 with after the Jimmy Butler trade. Steph Curry is, and Steve Kerr talked about this, of how he puts on a show everywhere he goes. Steph Curry is absolutely ridiculous. And I know as you basketball fans watch him, some of the things he does and some of the shots he makes, it's the WTF moment. You're just your eyeballs pop out of your head, your jaw hits the floor, and you have no words on some of the shots that he makes. So Curry drops 40 in that win, 7 threes. And of course he did that. I don't know if you guys saw the highlight, that turnaround pirouette just past the half court line, 40 feet and swish. I mean, it's just, when he makes those shots, you just are in awe, because it's just not a luck shot. His shots are talent. It's insane. That is another team that these young upstart Western Conference teams need to watch out for. The Golden State Warriors are playing inspiring basketball. Steph Curry, kind of invigorated again, has been playing out of his mind, shooting the lights out of everybody. And if the Golden State Warriors get playoff Jimmy, guys, they are going to be a tough out. This may be Golden State, LA, West Coast Finals. Because again, Steph Curry, 36, the babyface assassin. I know he don't look 36, but he knows the window to get that chip is closing. So, Western Conference, you're on notice. And we got some big games this weekend, guys. Saturday, today, Warriors versus the Detroit Pistons. I'm excited about this game. I can't wait to watch this. The Detroit Pistons playing some great basketball. Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are really playing great. Two awesome teams with a lot of history colliding. Going to be a great game. And then, of course, Saturday, we also have the Lakers versus the Celtics. So another epic battle. So some great games Saturday. That Lakers-Celtics game is going to be bananas. Celtics coming off that championship from last year. Lakers invigorated with Luka. Jason Tatum still trying to make a name for himself. Big game, guys. Big game. I can't wait to review this one and see what happens in this game. And then Sunday, we got a couple big games. 1 p.m., Thunder and the Nuggets. We got a West Coast game that's kind of early, which I kind of like. It's a little different. But Thunder Nuggets, SGA versus Joker. Two MVPs clashing. I like it. And then you got the Cavs and the Bucks, first place and fourth place, coming together. Giannis doing some things, but still kind of quiet right now. So East, you better watch it because the Bucks have been there before. So, guys, I appreciate you joining me today on Saturday. I appreciate you spending your weekend with me. Thank you so much. Share the heck out of this. Like and subscribe. Jump on Boom Broadcasting. This is one of the best upcoming YouTube channels out there. Please, you won't be disappointed. We have some great content providers. Not just your boy NY. Yes, I am Jason Colenso. This is 3 from Deep. And I will see you guys on Monday. Peace. Enjoy your weekend.